Yeah, it look like we working. We working. All right. Capricorn. Capricorn. Welcome, first of all. If you never been to my channel before, I do a lot of Capricorn readings. I vibe with y'all because y'all is my, you know what I mean. I'm Capricorn, so you already know what's up. Like you already know I'm gonna be real on it. You already know I'm gonna talk about the real shit. You already know that we're gonna skip over a lot of like the fine wine dining that people do within some types of readings. It's like when people is a little too sweet, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not that type, okay? I'm gonna be real with you. And so I kind of write down that I channel in a different type of way where I use music. I just use what comes to me, that sort of thing. I use verses from songs. I use Bible verses sometimes, or just random shit that I see, and we just kind of use the internet and go from there. You know what I mean? Like I feel that about y'all though. Like I feel like there's a lot of energy for like the not like us energy. If y'all know that song Not Like Us, everyone knows it by now. It's like I'm taking a different meaning to that though. It's like, yeah, this is the thing. Like, there's not a lot of people out here like me. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people out here that are actually like me, or think like me, or talk like me, or walk like me, or want the same things that I do. Like very clearly, there's not a lot of real raw people around you right now, right? And I'm not saying that like, you don't have people that you trust and people that you love and people you respect, but like even with all of that, it's like there's still not enough. There's still not enough niggas around you, enough people around you that you actually feel like secure and like you feel yourself with, right? And that's why we come here and talk about it, right? So I'm gonna go down the list a little bit, and then we pop out some cards, we pop out some other shit, and we'll see what comes out. The first thing that I channeled for y'all, and this was probably about a week ago, so I've been sitting on this shit for a while. The first thing I channeled was you're protective over your abusers or the neglectful people in your life because they are yours. Okay? I love that. Oh my God, Kendrick Lamar. I can't with that nigga. He said, protective over your abusers and neglectful people because they are yours. That's why you do that shit. That's why you take claim and stake claim, and that's why you butt your nose into business that is just simply not yours no more. That's why you stake claim into certain situations where like people are always telling you, Capricorn, how about you just mind your business? Capricorn, how about you just look to the side and ignore that shit? Capricorn, how about you just like sidestep that whole situation? And you're like, nah, I'm gonna confront the shit head on. Cause that's not I'm not the type of person that can sidestep. I'm just not that person, right? And so when I'm dealing with something head on, especially when it comes to family, especially when it comes to love, especially when it comes to friends, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like nothing's happening, because that's not who I am, right? So you asking me to do already the impossible. People always expect the impossible out of me, right? They already do that type of shit. So when you ask me not to get involved, I have to get involved type shit. And we're going to talk about that type of behavior, okay? We're going to talk about it because I feel like that's the theme of the reading, all right? We do have, you have to keep reminding yourself that you always have a choice. You have to keep reminding yourself that you have a choice in certain situations that you've never really felt fully in control of. And then maybe you've never felt fully in control of yourself, right? And that's kind of like that's where we tap into that like mentally maybe like neglectful piece of yourself, like how you treat you, how you look at yourself in the mirror. It's like you've never really been able to sit down and fully act out your own choices that wasn't like already fucked up by somebody else. You know what I mean? Like you aren't able to make choices on only your own behalf. You have to include the whole crowd. Okay? And the whole crowd, I mean the people you care about. Okay? And then, while that is kind of like, okay, well, that's actually like pretty cool that we have a person out here, a Capricorn out here, a group here that feel so strongly about people that they will like be a little self-sacrificial sometimes. They won't be completely selfish, because Capricorn's trait is highly righteous, self-righteous, highly prideful, highly like, I think about me. But the reality of it is like, while you're thinking about yourself, you also have to govern the whole situation and throw in other people too. And that's kind of where you lost yourself a little bit. You lost a little bit of your identity. You made yourself. I didn't even read the next shit on the paper. It says, lose myself in a liar's game. Come on now, Kev. Lose myself in a liar's game. Come on now, Kev. I know that spoke true to it. Come on now. Lose myself in a liar's game. Somebody who lies 24/7, whether it be white lies or maybe they withdraw certain information that would be really, really important to the understanding a certain situation, or understanding their emotions, or understanding like why they're so tired of you, or understanding why the relationship is falling apart. It's like they withhold certain things from you, so you're not able to fully understand, and they do that shit on purpose, knowing that you are such an analytical person, knowing that you are a person who needs the full facts before you throw yourself into a situation. They withhold from you. Okay? They prefer that version of you that is sitting there like la-di-da-di-da, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. They prefer you to be confused. Okay? So don't get it twisted. You're like, well, they want me to be healthy, right? Like they want me to be happy. They want me to be and feel secure in myself. They want me to be the confident Cap, right? No. They want you to be that anxious, shy, quiet, like I said, sidestepper, person who ignores all of the red flags. That's what they want from you. That's what they're trying to ask from you, okay? So let me continue going down the list. Let's see. We got scared to be by myself, which I figured, you know what I mean? Someone clings onto your life so they can also blame you for when things go wrong. They follow your lead, okay? They follow your lead, but they have to cling on to your life and your life goals and your situation with your family and your situation and your love life. They have to cling to you, right? Because they feel attracted to the fact that you have a life, right? When the majority of these people that are trying to come towards you, they don't got shit, right? Or they don't view their life in a way that makes sense, right? It's like, okay, Capricorn, you're out here getting your bag on, right? You might be struggling a little bit at work. You might be stressed the fuck out because what Capricorn don't fucking stress about? Finances, right? Even when you are stable, you never really feel fully secure in yourself. And you're always trying to figure out a way to like double up or ramp it up and like get it to a space to where like, okay, well, maybe I don't have to worry about this. But you always worrying, low key, right? Romance, you always trying to find a space with your partner where you can actually feel like, you could feel like you have some sort of like possession over them, right? You want to feel like, okay, like this person really, really wants me and I really, really want them, and we're willing to compromise with each other, right? That's love life. Now, when it comes to family life, you really need people to be on their Q's and T's in family life, right? Because you're always going to take that parental control over a situation. Right? When somebody cries for help, 99% of the time, they run into you. They run into you with their fucking hangnail. They say, like, oh, I got this issue, that issue, this issue, that issue. They run to you. And it's the same with friends. It's the same with your friendships, right? So, as we're talking about these particular people that cling to you, like I said, they cling to you because they don't feel like they have a life that's actually worth living. As sad as that sounds, it's also extremely toxic. It's very toxic behavior. It's not something that's healthy enough to keep in your life, in your circle, around you, because it will drag you down. It will make you feel like you have to do everything in your power to hold this person up, like a fucking on a flagpole type shit. Like you have to sit there and help them grow. When the reality of it is you should be helping your goddamn self grow. Right? You should be taking the time to look at you and be introspective about your life. But you don't have the fucking time to do that because the people that keep clinging onto you like fucking leeches. Okay? Like leeches. And then we have, let's see. Someone doesn't feel safe by your side because you're healing. They don't feel safe by your side because you're healing, because you are getting over your trauma, because you are getting over your past, because you are moving further past those phases of your life, because you are choosing yourself, right? They don't feel comfortable anymore. All of a sudden, they don't love you as much anymore. All of a sudden, they're not showing you the same type of love. All of a sudden, they feel threatened. They feel threatened. And in fact, that's going to cause arguments. That's going to cause like, weird tension or like just random shit where it's like, oh my God, like, why is this person like walking away from me when I'm talking? Like, why is this person like choosing to withdraw themselves? Like, why are they so like antsy, like anxious or bipolar or like crazed? It seems like you're like, okay, what the fuck happened in this person's life? It's like, you were choosing to heal. That's what happened. You chose you. That's what happened. So like, that's why I'm trying to like kind of piece together this whole entire situation as like you're still feeling somewhat protective over this space in your life or protective over this person in your life. So regardless of whether they're there or not, you're still protective of that like memory of them or protective of those emotions, of your emotions on the situation. You're still sitting here ruminating and angry or upset about things that they have said or they have done to you. And you're still sitting there, maybe even saying like, well, I kind of understand, I understand why they did what they did because I was in a really rough place too. It's like you're making excuses for your abuser, right? For your abuser, for the person that hurt you, that made you feel like nothing, that grinded you down, right? You're being here, you're not sitting here and be like, well, I'm a bad motherfucker, bitch, so I don't know why that person didn't see that I'm bad. Like, I don't know why that person didn't see that I'm cool as shit. I don't care why that person didn't see that I am who I am. It doesn't fucking matter, right? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what that person thought of you or at this point, right, what they did to you because you are a million times better off by yourself on your own, doing your own thing and growing in the way that you need to. Right? And I think that goes for anyone. That goes without saying for anyone that's in your life that keeps clinging on. Right? We also got, you got up too fast and you got a little whiplash. You got up too fast and you got a little whiplash. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so it means that, right after a relationship or right after you cut somebody off or right after an argument with somebody, after a big blowout with an individual, you instead of like processing the information or the situation, instead of processing that someone cheated on you, instead of processing all of these emotions that had to do with the betrayal of the situation, you chose to just let bygones be bygones and zip out. So when I'm talking about like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter what this person did to you. What matters is actually how you feel about it. It's not about what they did. It's how you feel that matters. That feeling of betrayal, that feeling of hurt, that feeling of this person did me harm. Those are important emotions. Those are things that you need to settle within yourself before you take the chance on another individual or before you even go out here wanting anything further than like a friendship. Even friendships can be this fucking stressful. So that's why it's like, oh my God, like y'all all over the damn place. Okay, and then we picked up on the fact that someone is planting a seed in your mind, right? Maybe it's a seed of change. Maybe it's a seed of deception. Maybe it's a seed of lies. Maybe this person is creating like a false reality inside of you. Maybe this memory of this person or of this whole entire situation is creating a falsehood inside of you. It created almost like a false personality. I don't want to say like it's something like a crazy mental illness or anything like that, because it's not necessarily how I feel about it. I think it's like they created a version of you in their head that you had to become in order to please them. You had to become that version of yourself, right? Which was not really you, right? You didn't choose. It's not something you necessarily chose. You kind of just did it in order to please, in order to feel loved, in order to feel like gratified, in order to gain this person's trust and affection. You became someone else. Whew. And then we picked up on you reap what you sow. Plant a seed that will only grow if you water it. Something out of reach. Am I allowed to do things just for me? What else we got? We got dead end. We got all of a sudden, I was self-aware. We have, where did you get this confidence from? I can't tell if you love me or not. All right. And I do have another set of topics here, but I feel like we should really focus on that idea of like, I don't know if you love me or not. here's kind of like the challenge of being like, born under Saturn, the planet Saturn, right? That rough, rigid, cold exterior where you're kind of stuck in this zone of like, I am an adult before needing to be an adult. I am understanding things before needing to understand things. So as a child, you were already in that zone of processing that was way beyond your years, right? That's just Capricorn by nature. Y'all got that old man, old woman ass energy, right? You were processing things way before you were even ever supposed to process them. You were sitting there processing situations outside of yourself that you could not control, that hurt you, right? And when all of these different things, like all of these different things, like your mother and your father and your family, and like when all of these things really, really came in clutch for you, like when you really, really felt like, oh my God, like I don't know if these people love me, like I don't know if they accept me, I don't know if they want me, I don't know that, like I just don't feel loved or accepted. You might feel loved and accepted now, but that doesn't discount or discredit how you felt back then. That doesn't discount or discredit like how you still feel when you look back type shit. Those situations, they defined the rigid person you are now, the cold person you are now. And even if you're not cold, you're incredibly sensitive, you're detached, right? You're detached. You try to detach yourself from a way of life or from the way that people treated you. You try to detach yourself. You tried to withdraw enough to where you wouldn't be hurt. But that never really fully clicked in for you. You're still hurting, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about this shit. You are still hurting. Within this moment in time, you are still hurting. And while that is extremely normal for people who have gone through it rough in any type of fashion, really, it's also really, really hard to sit here and try to make steps moving forward and make future plans about the type of person that you want to be with, the type of life that you want when you're still feeling that pain and that hurt, right? I think it's like easy to put on that mask and pretend like you're okay and smile for the cameras and be like, oh yeah, I'm bad, I'm confident. Yeah, you confident, but you can't say you're that way every fucking day. Right? That goes for no one, but like I'm saying, you can't say you feel that way every day. There's times where you're sitting there reflecting on all of these moments, all of these past situations, all of these relationships. There's times where you're sitting there and like pulling yourself apart over them because you don't feel comfortable in knowing that you even allowed yourself to be in those situations. And even the situations that you could not control, you still feel like you could have done something to prevent them, even though they were literally your environment, right? They were your environment. How the fuck are you supposed to change that when it's literally something you grew up in, something you're rooted in? You couldn't have changed that, right? But it's fucked up, it's fucked up because that's just Capricorn's nature. Sit here and ruminate and be like, well, I gotta plan this out. I gotta plan through my trauma and plan through this and plan through that. I gotta do this and do that. Like you so all over the place, you bounce. The anxiety with you is real, right? It's very real. It's very hard, it's very hard to cope when you won't allow yourself to cope, right? So there's a lot of like different steps here that I feel like we're going to talk about a little bit, and we're going to get into the specifics, of course, of like a lot of collectives situation, right? We're going to talk about who specifically is causing. We're going to talk about what specifically is causing. We're going to talk about the cause and effect, okay? So let's dig it out, because I feel like this is something to do with like divine intervention, how spirit is most definitely showing you that a situation is wrong or a situation is bad, and yet you still continue to draw that in or continue to walk towards that, okay? It's like the energy is like what is real will prosper, and what isn't fucking real will be shown to you. Okay, what is real will continue forward, and what isn't will literally be shown to you. Like I picked that up through like dreams, through intuition. Like you're gonna have some weird, strange, like very, very charged up dreams, or even like the feeling of electricity or zap. Like I picked that up big time, like zapping or like weird little pains and that sort of thing. And they talk about growing pains as well. They talk about the feeling of like, oh my god, like I just had this fucking eureka moment where something just it just makes sense now. Like what just happened? You're like, now it suddenly makes sense. Like what the fuck is this? Like what is this? Yeah. All right. Let's get those cards out. We're gonna use the Hellfire deck. I do feel like that kind of matches Capricorn's aesthetic, right? Capricorn's vibe. So we're gonna do that Hellfire deck, and of course it's red for y'all. So let's see, red and black. There's something interesting too that happens when y'all are currently tuning into like music or meditation or voice. They particularly focus on like voices, right? They talk about like the voices in your head or like different things about your imagination or daydreaming being significant. So daydreaming is super significant, and they talk about having like several lines of thinking that like don't match your personality type, like or doesn't match you at all. It's like you might be thinking of doing something or thinking of things that like you could have done that literally just aren't you. So like you're making up a character in your head. You know, maybe that's something you do for work, or maybe it's like a thing of like I do art, so that's what I'm trying to perform, like doing songs and music. And they talk about your voice in particular. Okay, they center in on the fact that your voice always shows when you're bullshitting, and they talk about how like you get real sweet and real soft with people when you bullshitting. That's what they said. Okay, yeah, they're calling you out for some shit. They said Knight of Viking horns. Okay, so that's the type of shit I mean. Okay, I think that sometimes when we get a little emotional as Capricorn, we like to try to build like such tall walls or such tall expectations for ourselves that like we kind of just forget the feeling altogether. Like we forget that we're supposed to feel things in certain moments altogether because of all the crazy ass high expectations we built for ourselves. It's like, no, you need to be perfect. No, you need to be on the diet. No, you need to show up to work today even though someone just died yesterday. No, you need to do this. No, you need to do that. No, you need to continue your schedule because that's what works for you. You need to do this. Like, who is saying that, though? That's what I'm saying. Capricorn, why aren't you taking time out for yourself? Who the fuck is saying that, right? Because if it's you, then you need to correct your own line of thinking. But if it's someone else trying to tell you how to live your goddamn life, then you need to fucking correct them and tell them what the fuck is up, okay? You need to fucking blot that out. Dodge that to the goddamn side. Like, someone trying to tell you what the fuck to do with yourself. Hell no. You know, you did it by yourself, and you will continue to do it by yourself. Seven of Hellfires, that even shows like the moments of time where you're feeling very, very upset or angry. You have that tendency to ruminate on it and build it up to such an extent and such a point to where it becomes like explosive. Like it doesn't even make sense how you're reacting to it because you've withheld yourself from emotions for so long. It almost like spirals, like instantly, like out of control. It's because you're holding so much to that feeling. You're holding so much betrayal in your heart, holding so much hatred in your heart. Like I said, it's not about necessarily what they did or what they continue to do. It's about how you're feeling about it now. How it's making you feel. How it's destroying you. How it's from a fucking cellular level, like making you feel like you want to go fucking crazy. That's what's going on. Okay? So let's dig a little bit more. Let's see what else they got. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's been a pause, or there's been almost like it's like a storm, okay? I would say it's like a storm. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a hurricane because they talk about the eye of the storm a lot with y'all. They talk about you being the eye of the storm, how everything that's happening around you is like insanity, and then you just have to sit there like a fucking stone, like a fucking stone, like you're into the ground, like you're literally almost like, you know how people nail their tents down type shit. Like you have to build through the storm. Like you have to navigate your own life and your own problems and your own issues around this storm, around this crazy shit that keeps happening, around the people in your life that keep causing the crazy shit to happen. Because I will tell you one thing. Yes, there's a lot of things that happen in our life that are, extremely traumatizing, and it seemingly will happen for no reason. But I will say, Capricorn, there's a lot of people that are drawn to you right now who trigger a lot of the shit to happen, who do things with the purpose of causing drama and trauma because they're so used to it. They've built their life out of that. They built their life based off of bullshit. And now you're sitting here having to decide on whether you clean that up or you clean yourself up, right? The focus is all off. The focus is it's strange. Like, I feel like people fish from you, like they try to fish from you, like almost like advice, or I don't know if it's like advice, or they just try to fish like love or extra attention from you. And it's like something that you definitely can't afford. It's not something that you can afford. It's not something that you can actually give. Like, you just don't have enough to give anymore. Like, you just don't have that in you no more, right? You had to loosen your grip on other people and other people's lives and back up and back away and start focusing on you. And the moment that you do that, all these people want something from you. All of a sudden, it's like, at first, maybe they wanted nothing to do with you. At first, maybe they didn't feel comfortable enough with fully, like, giving themselves over to you and fully expressing themselves. But all of a sudden, now they're wanting to do that. It's like, you a little late to the fucking party there. You a little late to the fucking party. Because I've already moved on. I've already found my way. I'm already trying my hardest and my best to be myself and to be by myself. And now you want to come in and ruin that and knock that over. You want to challenge that within inside of me. My individuality. You want to challenge me. And I don't fuck with that. That's not something I fuck with. Okay, so we have the lovers and the fool. Like, how many times am I going to say this to you? How many times am I going to do this for you? How many times am I going to play the fool in a situation to where I already know the answer? How many times am I going to do that? Okay? Because I do it a lot for the people that I love. But now I'm starting to realize that as I continue to pull myself through that, my life ends up in fucking shambles. Everything I built goes underground. Okay? Everything I built burns the fuck down. I'm not even able to process these types of things. I'm not even able to sit there and think about these types of things. I just gotta go, because that's what people are expecting out of me. Right? It's like, I'm a go-getter. Yeah, I'm sure I'm somebody who can push forward through a lot of crazy shit, through a lot of nasty shit. But I'm also a human being with human problems, with human issues. I'm also a human being who has to fight to be heard or fight to be understood in every single way, because people always misrepresent or misunderstand me. They misunderstand my anger. Right? Your anger may very well be sadness and frustration with somebody. Your anger or your sarcasm, your moments of where you kind of have to respond defensively, those are moments where you're feeling the most pain. Right? And somebody's like, just control yourself. I picked that up too. Like, how about you just control yourself? How about you just calm down? It's like, I've been calm my whole life, trying to fight through and wade through this fucking tidal wave. I've been calm my whole life. Like, I hope you realize how calm I've had to be my whole entire life to tackle and deal with the things that I've always had to deal with. Where I didn't get a fucking memo when I came down and like I would popped out my mama's pussy or my mama's coochie. I didn't get a fucking memo where I was going to have to like do all this shit. I didn't get a fucking paper with rules on it with how I'm supposed to live my life. I just had to go. I had to just fucking write my own life. I had to do that shit for me. Because who the fuck else was going to do it in my situation? They don't know me. Like, none of the people in my life know me enough or know enough about me. Because I'm still trying to learn about myself. I'm still trying to learn what it feels like to be intimately loved by somebody, right? And by intimacy, I mean the whole fucking caboodle, baby. I mean sex. I mean romance. I mean the holding of the hands and the kissing on the face and the this and the that. Capricorn gets a bad rap in romance because they think it's all about sex with us. That's something I lack the understanding on, is because like our form of intimacy, our form of security is just that person is feeling good. If we are sitting here in a relationship with somebody who's constantly depressed or constantly feeling bad, we want to change that. That is our love language. It's change. It's being able to put somebody on the right track. It's being able to like toughen somebody up and hype somebody up and make them feel good, right? And when we can't do that, we feel helpless as shit. We feel helpless. And so we try to give them the very, we try to give them the clothes off our back type shit. We try to give them everything that they need. And then when it comes to the sexual biz, it's like, okay, is that what they need? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know unless you fucking tell me, right? I don't know unless you say something. Like, you gotta say something though. Like, you can't sit there on that shit. You have to tell me, right? I'm never going to be able to read your mind in the way that you want me to. And even then, maybe you don't want me to. Maybe you're doing some shit on the side. Maybe you over here acting filthy, acting stupid, acting out of your character over here on the side. To you don't want me to read into what you're doing. And that's fine too, right? But just know I'm not going to put up that bullshit for long. I'm not gonna walk myself into a padded cell. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna walk myself into a situation where I can't read you and I can't know who you are. I'm not gonna walk into that. And if I do, then that's my mistake, right? I'm gonna walk the fuck back out and lock the fucking door behind me, because that shit ain't me. That's just not who I am. That's not who That's not who I am. No. I picked up on like the intuition and the dreams, and once again they talk about like you are capable of like going past your capacity of like of like your emotions, right? You're capable of like looking past yourself and looking at another person's situations and empathizing, right? You are fully capable of that. It's just you have to choose when to turn that type of shit off. You have to choose when someone's abusing that. When somebody's using that in you, when somebody is hurting you actively, and trying to like manipulate that side to you have to choose to turn it off. Because your empathy is no longer going to matter to a person who's abusing it. They're abusing your feelings, abusing your emotions. They're making you feel like your feelings are wrong, or they're discounting your feelings. And if you're doing that to other people as well, just know whatever you put out is exactly how you're going to attract it, baby. Right? That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Yeah, I pick up like, don't be crying. Don't come back crying to me. Once this is all over, don't come back crying to me. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to like reminisce or think about anything that was going on with us. I just don't. That's not in my character. Six of Skulls here. It's like reminiscing. It's reminiscing about the past, about the negative shit, or even about the positive shit. It's like, that's in the past. Leave the past in the past now. Leave that shit in the past. Leave that shit where it's at, because that's not me no more. I just, it's not who I am. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to someone's face and promise them that I'm gonna come back and be able to tackle their situation. I'm not gonna be able to promise anyone anything, in fact, because I don't even know where the fuck I am at right now. I don't even know where the fuck I am right now. It's not about you no more. That's what you gotta start telling people, Cat. It's not about you no more. It's not. It's about me. I'm sorry if that hurts you, right? Actually, no. Don't be fucking sorry. Fuck that. No. If that hurts you, fuck you. That's what I'm saying. The Tower and the Upright. Fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. Like, this is the first time in your life you might be speaking up to somebody. Fuck you, bitch. I am no longer going to sit for this. I don't stand for this type of shit. I don't stand for this type of crap. I don't do it. That's not who I am. It's also like a lot of metaphor they talk about. So like maybe like there might be a situation that's happening in your romance life that connects to, what you saw growing up type situation, and it's super active right now. Okay, like I mean this right now. Like as I'm telling you this, you know who you are, you know what your situation is, and right now, currently, there is metaphorically a situation happening with your love life that has happened your whole entire life with your family. Okay. And I know you know to connect those things. Like, I know that's not the first time that you've heard that, or even the first time that you're trying to deal with that and tackle that. But you also actively keep somehow inviting these people into your life. You keep inviting the family aspect in, even though the family aspect is the main reason why you're drowning, why you're literally drowning, why you're literally feeling like everything in the relationship zone, why you don't feel understood, why you don't feel cared for, why you feel like you're always in like I picked up on critical condition, right? Maybe someone is in critical condition, and that's why you have to think about it, because now you're like, you know, this whole entire situation, this whole entire like situation with this person, it's hurting me. It's making me also reflect and be introspective on our relationship and how our relationship was, you know, prior to this person being in critical condition, or prior to this person being hurt or in the hospital. It's like now I'm having to sit here and reflect on it, you know, when I wasn't able to do that before because the bitch was still breathing. And I'm not saying that to be a bastard or anything like that, but this is really what it took. It took this person's presence leaving off the planet for however long. Maybe it was just them leaving the house, right? It took you that amount of time to figure out and tackle these issues. It took you years, some of y'all. Some of y'all just months, some of y'all years. Some of y'all real fucking long time to navigate. Really long. You try to create a fantasy life in your head too. Like a lot of y'all, like Justice in the Upright is Libra. Like Libra in a weird, strange way to me. They're an air sign, right? But they are so dreamy. They're so like in the zone of like, okay, yeah, a Libra does represent karma. A Libra does represent balance. It does represent stability, the yin and the yang. But there's also the piece of Libra that represents like childhood or children, right? And in this world that I'm talking about for y'all, you know, fantasy has played a big part in the reason why you have not gone insane. Fantasy and creating a fantasy of the perfect storm, or the perfect situation for your future, and you know, creating a imaginary situation in your head, that's been the only thing really keeping you afloat in a lot of these situations. And I'll tell you how, right? Because Capricorn, you're sitting here like, no, why the fuck I don't. You're like sitting here like mouthing off and shit. I can feel it. You're like, no, what do you talk about fantasy? Like, I don't fantasize. I know the truth. You know, I know what's in front of me. I see it. I see it right now. I see it right now. No. I know the truth. I know the truth. Nah, listen. When you are in a romantic relationship with somebody, or when you are with somebody, like even just talking to them in the first stages of talking, right? You lay out your expectations quite fast, quite quickly, right? Instead of getting to know the person, you already have this like idea in your head that you need to like slap everything on the fucking table. Be like, well, I'm this type of bitch, you know, I might be fucking crazy. I might be this way. I might be that way. You know, but like, I need you to have this on the list, that on the list, this on the list. You let somebody know your expectations prior to even getting to know them. That's the dreamer in you. The dreamer in you is telling you that you need to create the perfect person before you even get into the situation, before you even know them, before you even have a full-on type of conversation with them, like before you're even friends with them, like you gotten close enough to like really want them in that way. You've already thrown out all of your fucking expectations in their face. And now they're just gonna be trying to become that. Now they're like, okay, this is how I get a pretty girl, or this is how I get this pretty ass nigga. Like, this is how I get this nigga. Okay, bet. Like, okay, they want this and this and this and that. Okay, bet. I'm gonna throw myself in. Fuck. You know, like, shit. It's like throwing yourself into a pack of fucking piranhas. It's like, fuck, man. Like, I might as well try it just one time and see. It's like they play with your expectations. They play with this shit. They morph your expectations, right? Because your expectations, right, they can never fully meet the reality of the situation. And the reality is that this person is a piece of actual garbage. The reality is that this person, the people that you're choosing in your romance life, and even if you're in a relationship right now, I will let you know, if you are the type of person who's sitting here standing on their expectations and this person is still not meeting the fucking quota and they're still disappointing you each and every way,
you're still sitting in a situation where you are daydreaming, where you are imagining, where you are dreaming about a life with this person that will be perfect, that will be raw, that will be real, that will be what you want it to be, when this person is just simply not it. They are not. They are not. So as you're trying to enforce that and trying to shape them into the person, this is the possessive, controlling aspect of Cap and of Saturn. When you're trying to shape them and sculpt them into the person that you want them to be, and they are still sitting here not being the person you need them to be, I'm saying there's some fucked up shit here going on. That's not a situation where you're ever going to be fully happy and feel like you can fully commit to them. Like, feel like you can fully trust them, fully embrace them, fully love them. And now, like let's talk a little bit about, the new people that you meet in your life. Because I pick up on, newbies, okay? I pick up on newbies. You're like, well, I'm out here just living my life. I'm sitting here with a drink in my hand. Speaking of drink, let me get a little sip here, okay? You're out here meeting people. Okay, you're out here rediscovering yourself. Let me get a little smoke into it. You're out here wanting to find even the smallest amount of connection. It doesn't even have to be a permanent one. You said fuck it. I mean, look, okay. Instead of me shaping somebody out of my expectations, let me toss all of them out the window. It's like you got to go to the most two extreme shits that you fucking could possibly do. You have to throw all expectations out the fucking window. And now you're sitting here like, okay, let me just try a little something. Let me go out and enjoy it. I deserve a break. Yes, you do deserve a break. But do you really think the break is going to come from surrounding yourself in the same fucking people who make you suffer? Do you think the break is going to come from these fucking idiots, these fucking animal ass motherfuckers? I feel like they animals straight up. They dumb as fuck. Like pigs. I pick up on pigs in a blanket type shit. I pick up on people who act like dogs, follow you around the fucking street and shit like that. Weird, snuffing you, smelling you, trying to fucking, get a lick in type shit. It's so weird, dude. It's weird ass people that you attract because there's meant to be a moment where you can handle just shit by yourself on your own without anybody's intervention, without anybody from the outside, without throwing yourself into another situation where you're going to just have to fight again and again and again for the same expectation, whether it be a friend, whether it be a lover, whether it be a family, whether it be a fucking stranger. I'm trying to tell you, Capricorn, back up. Stop trying to make leaps. As you leap, you are leaping directly into a pot of boiling water. And it doesn't feel good, does it? Because you're still hurting. You're still hurting from the last pot of boiling water, baby. And that's just how this shit works. That's just how Capricorn is sometimes. We're so stubborn. Right? We so active too. We're active like life. I want to say we're visionaries. Right? I talk about being a realist, right? Because a realist is somebody who really, really, they already know kind of what to expect from life, and they're capable of building based off of what they know. But a visionary is what I need you to be. A visionary is someone who's capable of thinking of a future that is not only beyond what you're facing right now and dealing with as far as trauma goes and all that type of shit, as far as chaos goes. I want you to sit here and envision a life of where you could be actually genuinely happy by yourself. Just by yourself. You might want the kids, you want the family, you want all of this. You might already have that. But I'm saying, imagine a life right now as I'm talking to you, a life where you can be free by yourself. Right? And you're sitting here, well, that's never going to happen because I already know my situation. My situation's cut and dry. I already have kids. I already have this. I already have that. If you cannot be content by yourself, you will never be content with anyone by your side. If you can't feel contentment from anybody else, more than likely, it comes from the fact that you never felt okay by yourself. And that's just somehow how it be. That's just some time how it is. Okay? So let's do a little shuffle and see what else they want to bring up. Because I'm interested in seeing kind of where this is going. They talk about minimal effort. It's like, okay, why do I put so much effort in? Like nobody else can do the same. It's like, why can't they like get to know my birthday, my star sign, my this, my that, my birth time? Why can't they do digging on my personal feelings, my personal life? Why don't they ask about my parents and this and this and that? It's like, why don't they do all this? Because you, Capricorn, you are making leaps. You are jumping. You are making leaps because you want so badly to feel connected and loved by another. You are you've worked so hard. That's the thing. I'm not going to say that you're not asking for this like undeserving, because that's not true. That's not true. You've done a lot of work for you, on yourself, by yourself. You have done a lot of work, and I'm not going to discredit that, because that is exactly what you need to keep doing. You need to keep adjusting expectations for yourself. Stop expecting everything to come out of the relationship or the partnership or the job, like your job of your dreams, or even if you're sitting here and you might be sitting on a mountain of fucking money, you feel like you have the best life, but yet you still came here while reading this damn title. So clearly, you're not happy with something, right? Like clearly, there's something going on. Something's tweaking you, right? I picked up on, actually, you can't tell me shit. Like sitting here like, actually, no, you can't tell me nothing, because you in the same situation. You in the doghouse type shit. Somebody might be saying that to you where they're like, okay, actually, girl, like, I hope you realize, or actually, boy, I hope you realize we in the same boat. So I don't know why you're trying to tell me about my life when you haven't sorted yours out yet. Vice versa. You might be telling that to somebody else. You're like, bitch, like, I haven't sorted my life out. Yeah, you might be criticizing me on that or looking down on me on that. But let's be real. You haven't figured your shit out either. So it's like tit for tat. And maybe you go on tit for tat with a lot of different people where you don't even need to be fighting like that. You don't even need to be putting yourself out there like that. Like, straight up, you don't need it. And you know you don't need it, but you want it so bad. You're like, I want it. No, I want that niggas that I want that nigga that's going to like kiss the ground that I walk on. He's going to worship my thoughts. He's going to love my body. You know, I want the woman who's going to sit there and care for me and take care of me in the moments where I can't hold on no more. In the moments that I feel like lesser than myself, I want her to lift me up. I need him to lift me up. No, you don't. You never needed it. You never did. You never did. You just never did. Okay? You've always been that person, right, who has lifted yourself above and beyond. You have always been there for you and yourself. Okay? You have always. So you don't need. You might want a person like that. You might want someone to kiss your goddamn feet and suck on your toes and do all this extra shit. You might want that, but you don't need it. Until you are content with loving on you and touching on yourself and needing yourself and comforting yourself, you don't need somebody. You want them. Okay? I want my life. You know, I want my life to be filled with happiness. I want a marriage. I want this type of commitment from somebody. You want it. You don't fucking need it to exist, to survive, to be happy. Not even to be. Let's take that back, because like I said, we go through roller coasters all throughout our life. So happiness is fake as fuck. To feel content with you first. That's where this shit begins. This is where things get real. Okay? That's where things actually start happening for you. It's like, I might be a sick bitch. I might be a insane bitch. You know, I might be an angry person. I might even be like, you know, you might even view yourself at times as like the worst person to get along with, like with the worst type of personality, because you shut everybody out. You might be shy. You might feel this way. You might feel that way. You might be sitting here like beating yourself up, but it's really, like I said, this person that you describe as the worst person in the world within yourself is the same person that's kept you afloat all the time. So recognize that. It's the same person that's kept you going all the time. It's the same person who's lifted you up out of every single ditch, every single hole. Even if you view it as like, okay, well, this person, you know, I did have a romantic partner, or I did have a family member who did like lift me up and make me who I am. And no, the fuck they didn't. You wanted them to be able to do that. But as we're sitting here and talking about where you're at right now, right, on how you're still harping on these ideas and harping on this idea that you need someone else, or you need it. You need some form of, I need financial stability. Yes, we all need money. But what you're needing right now is also to figure out what you're wanting from yourself. Because as you need stability, you also need to do the work up here. As you're wanting stability and wanting all of these different steps and trying to chase after this goal and that goal, you need to work up here. Work on this, because this is the one thing that is holding you back. This right here. That's the shit. That's the shit. Okay? Oh my God. I also see something to do with like people playing the victim and shit. I see something to do with like maybe in your life you've only ever witnessed like you might be a man who's only ever witnessed the men in your life like play the victim, or the men in your life be like emotional wrecks, or like you've only ever witnessed like a very weak man, maybe as your father, or this could be also a woman too, but I'm saying like primarily they talk about this idea where you've only ever witnessed weakness from a man. And so that's exactly what you go after in your love life. You go after that like sensitivity. And it's so sensitive and it's so crazy and it's so like you in your relationships, the emotions are so high at all times that you're never ever fully able to even get through your trudge through your own. Like this person's fucking sensitivity is through the fucking roof. And it's not just a thing of like, oh, well, you know, they're a little emotional, you know, they cry a lot, you know, they here, they're there, but like relatively they're a good person. It's like, no, they take out a lot of that emotional distress on you. They just do. And then you might even be the person to sit there and be like, well, you need to get over it. Well, you need to hurry up and get over it. Well, you need to hurry up and do this and hurry up and do that. You're asking, really, the impossible out of a person who has always been that way. Right? You're asking the impossible out of a situation that has always been the same. Okay? With or without you being involved, they've always been the same. You can't change them. I'm telling you right now. And I'm just being realistic. You cannot fucking change them. They the same bitch. They're the same nigga. They're your same mother. They're your same father. They're never going to change. Okay? The change starts with you. It starts with you. And not repeating that mistake. Not repeatedly following after people who reflect this type of instability. And this type of I talk about sensitivity. Like I said, there's a certain type of sensitivity that is great. Like, crying is wonderful when you can do it. I'm a Cap who can't cry. But, like, I'm saying crying and being emotional is great when you can do it and trust somebody with that side to yourself. That is amazing. It feels so good. It is the most gratifying thing in the world when you finally find someone who's just able to accept the fact that you are a sensitive or empathetic individual or being. Okay? It's great. It feels wonderful. Right? But sometimes we chase that feeling of wanting to be understood. Wanting that emotional quality within somebody else. Because we lack it in certain areas in ourselves. When in reality, like, what you lack should be what you're working on right now by yourself, baby. By your goddamn self. So let me see again. Let's see, what else is there? I picked up, I'm happy, miserable. That's what I picked up on. I'm happy being miserable. Are you? I'm happy being miserable in this relationship, or I'm happy being in a toxic relationship. I'm happy where I'm at. Or I'm excited, I get excited when this person does this or does that. I get excited when this person reacts to my toxicity. I get excited. Maybe this is something that somebody feels around you. They're like, I get excited when this person starts up and starts yelling at me and gnawing on me and trying to fuck me up. I get excited when that happens. It's like this person gets excitement out of your misery, out of your frustration. They take your time up. They suck your time out of you. They get excited when you feel bad for them, or when you feel like oh my God, like this person frustrates me so bad. This person makes me so angry, so upset, so nervous. They get excited by that. They feel good. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel good. They talk about someone taking all that you have, Page of Skulls. Taking all that you have and running with it, or taking all that you have and just fucking burning it to a crisp, or taking all that you have with inside of yourself and saying it's worth nothing. Maybe somebody, like, there might have been a situation more recently where, maybe you showed somebody like a talent or a skill that you have, or maybe you just showed somebody like yourself. Like I said, you finally kind of were able to let the guard down and just be like, okay, this is me. And then they either they didn't react to it like at all, like they just kind of left that where it was at, maybe ghosted even, or maybe someone even talks shit on what you do or how you do it. Maybe somebody didn't necessarily like the way that you did it, or they were frustrated with the way that you did it. It's something to the effect of they made you feel rejected. They made you feel like the only thing that you feel like you have as a person is wrong. Like I want to say that also kind of applies to like the sensitivity piece too. You might be a crier, you might be someone who's shy, you might be someone who's super emotional, like I said, super empathetic. You might even be a tarot reader. Like there's a lot of tarot readers that pop up in this bitch, and I feel like you might be in that line of things, like spiritual work. You love spiritual work. You love that feeling in that vibe of being able to tap into others, and it's very possible that somebody has rejected that side of you, or made you feel bad for having that side to you. Right? For being empathetic, for being spiritual, for enjoying that aspect. They try to make you feel horrible about like loving that. The devil in the upright. There's Capricorn right there. They made you feel like, you being yourself was the problem. That's what they said. They said, Capricorn, you know what? You know what bothers me about you is that you're this way. You're this way, and you like this, and you do this, and you do that. And you can't stop doing this, and you can't stop doing that, and you are this way, and you are that way. They made a big ball of worries for you. They made you worry about being yourself around them because they rejected you. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. In fact, that's the exact toxic shit, the neglectful shit from the beginning of the reading that I told you needed to be cut out and avoided. Okay? Well, I'm married to them, we still have kids, we still have this, we still have a dream. They don't share the same dream as you. They don't share the same dream of you. They don't look at you and are content by you. They're not content with you. Otherwise, they wouldn't have just pulled you through and drug you through the fucking mud like that. They wouldn't have just rejected that side to you, or that part of that really big piece of your identity. They wouldn't have done that. They don't dream of you. They don't look at you as you. They look at you as a means to an end. A means to an end. They don't look at you the same way as you look at them. You look at them lovingly. And you accept the faults. You accept who they are. Doesn't mean you have to put up with a lot of the bullshit that they do, though. I'm saying you might accept them as they are, who they are. You might see straight fucking through them. You might see all of this person's issues and all of their problems, but that also doesn't mean that they have to acknowledge any of them. They might sit there still ruminating, still living that life, still living the toxic ass life that they lived thus far. And they're allowed to, a fucked up thing is they're allowed to do that. But they don't need to do that at your side. Okay? They don't need to do that near you, around you. They don't need to have that type of effect on your life. Okay? Because your life has meaning. Right? while they are struggling to find the meaning of theirs, you already know that your life has meaning. Okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't have pushed yourself this far. You wouldn't have gone this far for these people. You wouldn't have done that. You know your life has meaning. You might be still trying to like fully find yourself, but you still know that your life and your time that you spend here on this goddamn fucking planet in these goddamn situations, you know that your life has meaning. Okay? You're like, I'm trying to start something new. You know, I know I'm a blessed person, or I know that I am a person who is different. You know, who can use my gifts or use my stability and use my voice. And I know I'm a person who can change others, who can have a positive effect, you know, who could be there for other people, who can be that shoulder to cry on. I know I am capable of all of those things, but, you know, you gotta find the right people to do that for real. And they have to be doing pretty much the same goddamn thing for you, you know, in the way that you want them to. Really. They do talk about, like, you know, there is this aspect of sexual relationships that they kept bringing up in the beginning of, like, you know, there's possessiveness and there's rawness in the bedroom, and there's so much like emotions being passed back and forth between you and this individual in the bedroom, but it never ever translates to the verbal. It never translates to y'all actually sitting down and having a conversation. It never translates to y'all like actually having that raw connection with each other and being able to like talk shit out. It never translates to that. It never does. It's like just fun. It's like a one and done type shit. Or maybe not even one and done. It's like it just never it never fully ever develops. It keeps stopping at this point to where it's just sexual. If not just sexual, then it always stops at this point where it's just always awkward. You know, it doesn't feel right because you're sitting here like, okay, like I just spilled my guts out. You know, I kind of feel a little weird about this because I'm telling you this and I'm giving you this and I'm giving you that, and there's nothing. Once again, I'm left, or once again, I'm abandoned, or once again, I feel like you're not hearing me. You're not accepting me. You're not talking to me. You're not allowing me to get closer to you. It's not going anywhere. So what am I supposed to do? You're not supposed to stay around, baby. You're not supposed to go down with a ship. That's for damn sure. You're just not supposed to. I'm sorry that people have treated you like this your whole entire life. Like I said, that you're a means to an end. That you're the best person to go to for advice. That you're the best person to sit there and wear 21 hats for 21 different people. You know, and be a different person for everybody. And bend your back and bend over, like I said, bend over backwards trying to, like, please others. I'm sorry that's been your life thus far, but it's also not the life that you need to keep living. It's a life you need to detach from and that you're still continuing to break free from. Okay. You're finding your meaning through all of this. I promise you, like you have such a strong sense of empathy. That's what I'm picking up on. That strength, like you have to draw your strength from your empathy and be empathetic towards you and yourself. Like have that capability of like looking at your life and your shit and not trivializing it. Don't trivialize your life. Don't trivialize and be sarcastic about your life. Don't do that shit. Don't be sarcastic about the way that you look. You're fucking beautiful. Or you're fucking handsome. Like you're attractive. You're an attractive individual. You genuinely are. And I should not have to sit here and tell you that. Okay? Because you are. Like I said, you are. Yeah, they talk about like the stubbornness. Well, you know, I really, really want to rearrange my life in a way that, like, you know, I can. Not only can I balance like having the love of my life, but I can also balance like loving myself, and I can have my job. I can have the job that I want. Create the job that I want. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. I want to create everything that I can, you know, in order to feel secure and happy in myself. But why not create that now? Why not create that message now for you? You don't have to have the cold hard cash in your fucking hand. You don't have to have the ring on your fucking finger. You don't have to have these things in order to know that that you are worthy of those things and that you most definitely can do them. Like I said, manifestation is all about telling yourself, yes, Like, this is exactly what I want. So bring it to me. I am fucking ready. You know, I deserve that shit. Like, come on now. Like, come on now, angels. Or come on now, you know, guides. Bring that shit to me because I am fucking ready. And I'm not saying I'm ready because, you know, I just want something new in my life or I just need someone to throw in a little whatever, like mix up into my life. I'm saying I am ready because I know I am worthy. I know I am worthy. I know what I deserve. Right? I know, regardless of the faults that I carry, I deserve this. I put my back into my life. I put my fucking foot up to somebody's that goddamn ass to move him out the fucking way so I can have this in my goddamn hand. I can have this. That's mine. That's mine. It's been mine since the beginning. It's been mine. So bring it. It's right here. It's been mine. So where is it? Come on now. Like that's how you should be urgent as hell to spirit. Because spirit is only sitting here waiting, like, when is Capricorn going to realize that they don't have to do too much? Like what they doing right now is too much. When is Capricorn going to realize they don't have to do all that for what they deserve? When is Capricorn going to realize that they don't have to do extra or do the most for what they deserve? Like, when are they going to realize that? Like, we sitting here, like, good. I feel like spirit's sitting up in the fucking clouds and some shit. I pick, like, maybe they talk about, like, your head's in the clouds. Maybe you, like, thinking about what your spirit guys might look like or, like, what they might be doing right now. And right now, they are sitting up in the fucking clouds, like, looking down at you like, bitch, when the fuck are you just going to realize that it's right in front of your goddamn face? Bitch, when are you going to open your wake up and realize that you are the exact person that you need to be to have exactly what you want? Like, you are that person, right? You are that person, right? Finding the right individuals in the right situation for you is the challenge. But knowing your worth should never be that challenge. You should never be in a situation where you have to question your worth. You should never, ever, ever be in a situation where you have to sit there and wonder about your own worth and what you're capable of. Never. I mean it. And that's what Spirit's going to be telling you coming up too. Within these next couple of weeks, within these next couple of months, you should never, ever have to sit here in a situation to where you're incapable of knowing your worth because other people tell you your worth. They try to tell you how worthless you are. That or they don't even show you anything at all. Nothing. Zilch. Okay. So we're going to talk about some of the specifics that are coming up. Let's do a little roaming in the cards. Let's see. Let's use this deck. You know, I love this deck. This is a Surrealist Tarot. Surrealist Tarot has like such pretty depictions. It's kind of like a movie star deck, and I kind of fuck with that. It's very pretty. Very pretty. What's coming? What's coming for Capricorn? Like, talk about the specifics. There is money coming in for some of y'all that I do pick up on, like, something to do with, like, my check bounce type shit. I pick up on, like, some of you like, oh, fuck, my check bounce. Or, like, someone being at the bank and real frustrated, or the credit card declined or some shit. There's, like, frustration behind that. But then all of a sudden that you realize that, like, oh, like, I forgot, like, I have to wait this extra day. Or, oh, I forgot there's, like, some type of stipulation. Maybe it's a vacation or something like that. I forgot. But your money is coming in. And I do pick it up on like a bonus or it's doubled in some type of way because maybe someone couldn't get you the money that you needed in the right timing or something like that. But there is like a double bonus or something like that, or a percentage that ends up being added to your account because you waited for so long. They do talk about being able to finally like use your skill, like your actual skill set, your genuine skill set within work too. So I don't know if it's maybe something to the effect of like you've been holding back on using your skill set at work because you don't want to like do more than what you're supposed to do, or like you don't want to intimidate anyone around your workplace. Maybe you've been even holding back from using like your intuition, or like maybe I pick up on someone that does hair or talks to people on a regular basis. You maybe do hair, maybe you're a therapist, maybe you're a cosmetologist, maybe you're just somebody who like you deal with a lot of people at work where you're constantly like hand to hand with these people. Like maybe you're like a little bit scared to tap into that intuitive side and like, you know, let somebody know something or something like that. You're too shy to do it almost. I think you should. Like you need to start doing that shit, like tapping in on people. Cause for real, I feel like that's gonna get you a lot of different attention. Like I just feel like you should. I feel like you should. Like I don't know why you're so scared to tap in. You just need to do it. Cause you could like help like save somebody that day or something like that. They talk about like saving somebody that day, or maybe even like you give somebody like someone life saving advice. Like I feel like that's really important to the type of person that you are. Like the give the shirt off the back type of individual. Like you only can really give your shirt if you have it, and you have a skill. You have a skill. You know, you have the skill. I'm telling you right now, you do. So like when you're sitting here and questioning yourself, like am I even really like worth the trouble? And like you trying to sell yourself to somebody, and you're sitting here like, man, I don't really know what I want, or I don't know. No, baby, you need to sell yourself like this, baby. I know I'm bad. You know, I have every, like when you're looking at that job application type shit, I might not have everything on this goddamn list, but what I do have, I'm gonna do it damn right. And you already know you can fucking trust me. Cause like hand to God, I am this exact type of person that you looking for, right? In this job, in this situation. So don't you play with me. I know. Like you don't sit there all shy and like, oh my goodness, like da 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 da. No, you tell somebody I'm exactly who you need, baby. You already know I got this, baby. You already know I got you. I have your bag. Trust me when I say I have your goddamn bag. Like fuck, like who the fuck you think I am? Like I already got your shit. Like that's what you should be saying. Like I got you, baby. I got you. That's why you get so like when you're anxious and you're shy and shit like that. It's like instead of like embracing that type of like timid energy, embrace the energy that you know what the fuck you're doing. Even straight up, even when you don't. Fake it till you have you heard of the fake it till you make it type situation? Because a lot of people have faked it and they made it. Because at the end of the day, they have the confidence, they have the skill, right? They learned the skill set even over time. They push themselves, all right? They push themselves to be that individual that's going to reach out for something more risky or something that's out of their wheelhouse even, like completely. They tried shit, and they kept trying shit until they were satisfied. Straight up. They kept pushing until they were fucking satisfied. And they finally sat down and was like, hey, I could get on with this. Like, okay, yeah, I love this. Don't sit in something where you feel like a stalemate and that it's fucked. And then we get on to the movement. We get on to the movement. We do pick up on housing situations, or home. They pick up on like somebody might have been living in their car or something like that, or maybe you've gone through something rough where you lost your home, or maybe you're losing your home to something like, you know, maybe a bug infestation or flooding, or maybe just in general, like you want to leave home, like you just do, like you're done with the area, you're done with the situation, you're done with like, you know, barely floating by in this place that like doesn't even feel like it's worth it to you. Like you feel like a lot of your values aren't recognized in the area that you are in, or a lot of your creativity is muted or fucked by the area that you're in, which I feel is actually very accurate. You can't make any friends here, you can't make any like meaningful romances because it's just not you. Like it doesn't match up to who you are. Like a lot of the things that you feel like are like, you know, staples of you, like your personality type, you can't find in this area. Okay, that's what they pick up on. Death in the upright is that's for a fact. That's transformation, by the way. That death means transformation, not to scare anybody or anything like that. There is massive changes happening in your life right now to make the situation happen, to make it so that you can live comfortably, so you can live free. A lot of that has to do with your mind and healing your mind and healing from your trauma and viewing that like what do they call that, the dark side type situation, like viewing the dark side, you know, and not beating yourself up over your darker side, or your dark, like your the side to you that is sitting here and maybe in like a very, like you're beating yourself, self-deprecating. That's what it is, self-deprecation. Instead of beating yourself up and being self-deprecating and sitting here and picking on your every single flaw, what you should be doing is sitting here and looking at what you're good at and what you're talented at and what you're skilled at, and how, like I said, the parts of you that are gorgeous, that are fucking like you feel are worth it. You're like, bitch, I know I'm a bad bitch. Like, that's what you should be saying. Or nigga, I know I'm a badass nigga, like for real. No, I bad. Like, hey, like I can't even be mad because like I'm still, even after all of the fuck shit that's happened, even after all the parts of me that feel broken, I'm bad. You know what can I say? You know, I might be a broken nigga, but I'm a good looking broken nigga, like for real. Page of Wands and Ace of Swords. Yeah, that's creativity. You know, that's the islet of creativity, where you're going to be able to move to a place to where you feel like opening up Pandora's box, opening up your own business, or opening up in your own way, like maybe the way that you dress, like just accentuating on the way that you feel about yourself. Like you accentuate the confidence, you accentuate yourself with like falling in line with your skills, with your intuition. Like you start really, really opening up because you change a lot of the views and the behaviors surrounding like self-deprecation or beating yourself up, or inviting other people in that beat you up. You know what I mean? You start changing that. What else we got? All right, Two of Pentacles, Ten of Cups. Oh man, y'all are in your goddamn head. You're like, well, you're sitting here when it comes to like moving places, moving apartments, moving homes, moving houses, or even just like changing cars and like just swapping something out. Like instead of swapping the situation out, like you sit here and you're like, well, I want to be ready first. Like I want to be on top of this shit first, but you are already ready. Like that's how you have to view yourself. Temperance in the upright. I'm already ready. There is nothing that I want here. There's nothing I need here. There's nothing that I want to do with this situation, with this car, with this relationship, with this family, with this life. There is nothing I am leaving behind. I am gone. I am done. I am checking out, baby. And I'm going to check into a nice ass fucking hotel, and I'm going to spoil the fuck out of myself. Fuck y'all. Hey, I'm going. You know, straight up. Fuck y'all. You said fuck. You are already ready. There's nothing extra or anything else that you need to do. Right? I'm saving up. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Look at your options. Exercise your options. Even at this current point where you don't feel like you have enough. Because like I said, you clearly have enough. Okay? It just keeps getting muted and muddled by the self-deprecation aspects. And by the people around you who make you feel the way that you do. Okay? They talk about okay, so you want to like I pick up on like teamwork energy, or being able to find a team, being able to find a team that makes sense, a family that makes sense, friendships that make sense to you as a team, because y'all are capable of like actually going out together or ride or dying together type situation where y'all can go out and celebrate and have fun and like have drinks and embrace like the fun side, like the actual like celebratory side of life. Maybe you didn't do that early on. Maybe you wasn't like a kid that like rebelled or went out and did all of that. Maybe you kind of like left that out of your system because it didn't work for you at that point in time. But now that you're wanting to embrace and wake up to that lifestyle, like you're sitting here and you're kind of, you know, petrified of the idea of sacrificing or destabilizing yourself to celebrate and enjoy. When, like I said, the reality is you should be happy as fuck that you even have the fucking time right now to even think about that possibility, baby. You have made it through hell and high water. You have trudged through some of the worst parts of your life already. You have. Okay? And now you're coming to a fucking beautiful ass meadow where you're capable of even thinking of doing these things or wanting these things. You have done so much growth for you as an individual. You have grown so much. Okay? You deserve a little fun. You deserve a little recklessness. You deserve a little drink every once in a while. You know? A little smoke. You deserve that. I'm saying you do. Like, you're so hard on you. You're so hard on yourself. You're so hard on yourself. You deserve it, baby. You just do. You know, I can't sit here and tell you that, like, oh my God, like, you know, my life is all over the fucking place. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to take a break? You know, I don't know. You telling me that I need to take a break, or you telling me that I need to like relax, but I can't fucking. I'm not telling you to do shit. I'm not telling you to relax. Okay, I'm not even telling you to fucking relax. I'm saying you deserve it. I'm straight up telling you, you deserve a moment to take a break. You deserve to relax. You deserve that. And until you view yourself as deserving of that moment, you as deserving of a move, of a house, of a car, of this, until you view it as that, instead of viewing it as, well, I don't have enough, so I'm not going to go for it. Or, no, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough this, I don't have enough willpower, I don't have enough intelligence for that, I don't have enough this, I don't... Stop saying you don't have enough, because you have plenty. And that's what the cards keep saying. You have fucking the magician is somebody who is already there. You're already at the level of teacher, of guide. You are no longer a student. You are not a student anymore. You are already there. There is nothing else left that you need to learn here. Nothing. Page of Swords in the reverse. You just keep putting yourself under. You're like, well, I mean, maybe I just need to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Maybe I just need to, like, you know, I need to just center myself. You know, do a little yoga and do this. Yeah, I'm sure yoga takes a lot off the dome, but I'm saying yoga ain't making you feel happy about your relationship. Cut that nigga off. Yoga isn't making you feel happy about the neglectful people around you. Cut them bitches off. Start with action, baby. You forget how it feels to be free. You forgot how it felt to be free so long ago. And that's why you're still not free. Maybe you've never been free. You forgot the steps in being yourself. And forgot the steps of being content with yourself. Like, you forgot all that. You genuinely did. And it's okay to admit that. It is okay. It is completely okay to admit that you forgot how to be a free spirit. To ask, like, instead of, like, begging people to be right for you, or begging this job or this work situation to be right for you, you forgot how to just move forward and be free with it and choose something that is right for you. Just choose it. Like, literally, just choose it. Because it's in your, like I said, it's in your fucking wheelhouse. It's literally, like, I mean, right next to you, babe. Right next to you. It's like, well, you know, I really want to hit this person up. Like, they seem super cool, you know. They seem super nice. Like, I fuck with them. Like I kind of want to get to know them more. But I feel like, you know, I feel at a loss because I just got out of a relationship. I just did this. I just did that. Like, you sit here making up all these goddamn excuses. Why the fuck not? Like, if you sit here and create the excuses for yourself, it's just endless, baby. It's endless. It's never, ever, ever going to happen for you. You're never, ever, ever going to make a decision on your own behalf to be happy, because you will keep making the excuse that you're not allowed to be happy, that you're not allowed because you're not ready. You're not allowed because you're not ready. No, I'm not allowed. No, I can't do it because I still got to do this and I still got to do that. And you're always going to put other shit in front of yourself. You're always going to put other people in front of yourself. Well, I got to try to, you know, I really have to try to heal in this way and do this right and figure out my finances. Like, I don't have the time for romance, or I don't have the time for starting a new job, or I don't have the time. Baby, of course you do. You make the fucking time. That's what you do. Capricorn, you are literally the fucking leader, the father of fucking time. You are. You are painfully aware of the amount of time that we have on this planet. And it's definitely not enough time to be sitting here making excuses and throwing shit in front of yourself, throwing buses in front of yourself. Like, bitch, like, it's not even anyone driving that goddamn bus. You throwing it in front of yourself and getting hit by the shit. It's like nobody's in the fucking bus and you running right into it, baby. You creating a situation. You creating it. You creating it. You're actively creating it. You're imagining it. And I'm saying, your feelings on your situation, your emotions on your situation, those are all real. Those are all, you cannot change your feelings or emotions. They are factual. They are factual. But the fact that you make excuses like, well, I need to stay behind and do this with this person, or I need to stay behind and fix this in this person, I need to stay behind and make them believe me, I need to stay behind and like sit here and listen to them and coddle them and make them feel wanted and loved because, you know, without me, they're nothing. Without me, they won't feel though. No, like I said, with them being in your life and you paying this much attention to them and you coddling them this much and you having to take the lead into every single situation that you walk into when it comes to romance, when it comes to family, when it comes to life, the fact that you have to sit here and take the lead on everybody's shit, like I said, you should be taking the lead on your own goddamn self, on your own shit. You should be active in your own life. Stop being so active in theirs. Stick your nose elsewhere because it don't belong in these people's business. It belongs to your own. Truthfully. I'm being real. Eight of Cups in the upright and strengthening. Okay. I can see you. Okay. So this is the future. Okay. I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. Man, you gonna, I think probably, I'm gonna estimate probably about 3 or 4 months from now, you're gonna be looking at pictures of your old life like who is that? This is 3 or 4 months. This is not that long into the future, for real. Like, this is 3 or 4 months. You're gonna be sitting there looking at yourself like, I did that. Like, that was what you're gonna be sitting here like, what? That was me. Like, what the fuck? Like, what type of state of mind was I in? Like, where was I? Like, what the fuck? I was looking all a mess and shit. Like, what was happening to me? 3 or 4 months. 3 or 4 months. I see you changing your fucking... I see you flipping a fucking coin. And that's not something you would ever really do at this current state of mind that you're in right now. But I see you flipping a fucking coin. And I'm not going to say you're going to become a totally different person because I want you to stay you. Because at the base, at the bottom, you are already who you need to be. You are. But I'm saying 3 or 4 months from now, you flip a goddamn coin. Okay, and I can see you being excited about it. I can see y'all like wanting to. You're like, oh my god, like celebration type shit. Like, oh my god, like I need to start getting my shit together for real. Like, I can see you get like a little high off this ring, and you're like, I need to get my shit together. I need to get my shit together. You do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, baby, you do, and I want you to now. Even as we're talking, even as I'm just saying this to you now, even now that is fucking 3 a.m. The witching hour, or whatever the fuck they call it. Even now, yes. Send that text. Send that message. Make that fucking phone call. Okay? Apply for that job. Get on Indeed and do that shit. Apply for that fucking apartment right now. That house. Now. Stop making a goddamn excuse. I'm not ready. I can't do this. I can't do that. You absolutely can, babe. Like I said, they wouldn't tell me that there's nothing holding you back if there was something holding you back. They talk about Tuesday. So maybe there's something coming up for y'all on Tuesday. Maybe you get a payout on Tuesday, or maybe there's something akin to like there's something like overdue or something like that. Like maybe it's like I said, a payment or rent or something like that. Maybe you overdue on rent, but there's something that flies through on Tuesday for you. I also picked up on like new cell phone or new phone number or something like that. Maybe you have to buy a new phone. Do what you gotta do, like, baby. But you like I said, don't sit here and skip out. Don't sit here and skip out on it. You're like, oh, I want to buy a new outfit on this day, or oh, I want to do this, or I want to do that. I want to go out. Don't skip out. Okay, spoil yourself for once in your goddamn life. It's not about anybody else but you. For once in your goddamn life, it's not about anyone but you. Just you. Just you. I did pick up there was something else too. I wanted to like, let me look a little bit real quick, because I feel like this also is kind of timeless. But you know, we're gonna talk about some days of the week too. Tuesday and Sunday is very particular to your situation. There might be something where you end up stuck in like a leasing program. Someone's stuck in a leasing program, or stuck in a home, or stuck in a house for another couple of months. But there is a way that you can terminate whatever this agreement is. And I do see that being terminated, so you can move, you can leave. Like, you're not tied to this area, babe. You are not tied to this apartment. You are not going to be tied to this shit for much longer here. Whatever the like I said, there needs to be a termination or something like that. It's gonna happen. It's happening this week. Okay, Tuesday or Sunday. It's either this week or next week. They do talk also about fall and winter applying to somebody here too. Fall and winter is like the maybe that those are the seasons for like financial freedom for you, where you're gonna be able to financially like get stable, but then also kind of splurge on yourself a little bit. Then I also picked up on like God is blessing your life too. There's something to do with like blessings. What's the blessings though? Tell me about the blessings. Okay, someone gets accepted into like big wig college. Maybe someone's applying for like Harvard or something like that. I pick up on Harvard, or someone wants to reapply for college or do something different in college. Do that. Because there's something to do with being accepted, regardless of the fact that you might not meet like full requirement. There might have been like a test that you had to take, or there might be some paperwork that you had to fill out that you didn't fill out. But I feel like you're gonna make your way. Like I said, you're gonna make your wave because of your personality. It's not even gonna be like the requirements. I think people are gonna overlook that shit totally and entirely because they're gonna love that fucking personality. Like, I pick up on sass big time, too. Like, you real sassy. You real sassy, real feisty, and people love that aspect of you. Like, but also, there's something to do with keeping your temper in check this week, too. Because you're not going to be able to avoid the road bumps that you've been very, very, very careful and keen on being, like, you've taken your distance already. Okay, so I'm talking to Capricorns that you are already taking your distance from situations that don't suit you. But you're not going to be able to avoid them this week. Okay, if you still kept them on like a short little leash or something like that, maybe you kept the phone number, or maybe you kept the email, or maybe you stayed like in contact with somebody, and it's also very possible that you're just staying like kept up with someone, like you're watching their social media. You're not going to be able to avoid the anger for long. Okay. So let me tell you that you're gonna be a little pissed at whatever you figure out. They talk about a phone call here. What's the phone call about? Where is the phone call about? Oh man, somebody really takes shit out of context, huh? Somebody that you're dealing with takes shit out of context all the goddamn time. Even Seven of Swords is like the perfect example of that. Like, somebody is constantly seeing things in the wrong direction. They're not seeing things in the way that they need to. Like, it's hard. It's really hard for you because I think you feel really saddened by this situation. Or you feel sad that you're not allowed to have a relationship with this person. Like, you're just not allowed to develop a relationship. You feel really bad because you're like sitting here like, oh my God, like, I feel fucked. I feel fucked up because like I really want this connection with this particular person, or I really want to be, with this person. I want this person to be in my life, but god damn, dude. Like, god damn, dude. I also picked up on I'm retiring. So maybe you're trying to retire early or something like that. That your wish is going to come true on that. If you're trying to retire early, or you're trying to like retire from a situation early type shit, like it might be a situationship, it's gonna happen. You're retiring on that. You're leaving that right in the fucking past where it belongs. I pick up on pain tolerance being really big. So whether this be something to do with like a medical situation or scenario, or a mental situation or scenario, there is like pain tolerance, or you're building up the confidence, or you're building up the strength in order to do what you need to do. Seven of Pentacles. Maybe you exercising. There's things to do with like the muscles here, like they talking about wellness here. So like your innards, or your intestines and that sort of thing, and like your like I said, muscles. Or maybe it's like they talk about abdominal wall a lot. You're trying to build up the strength and build up the muscles for something. It's gonna work out in your favor. So I've also picked up on ass. Someone's trying to build their ass. Or work out their ass or something like that. That's gonna work in your favor, whoever. Okay, Ace of Wands in the Moon in the upright. Yeah, like I said, they talk about ass cheeks. They talk about the ass, or they talk about the lower body. Maybe you're trying to build up a resistance against like having too much sex or having too much fun with yourself. Yeah, they talk about that working in your favor. Like I said, the more that you kind of hold off on that, the better that you feel, or the more healthy that you feel. Like, you're going to be running into a couple of speed bumps with that too. So if you've been thinking that you could stay like, celibate, like you just became celibate and you've been trying to stay celibate, like I said, you might have to miss that. You might have to miss that, because I do see a situation where you kind of falling in love with somebody. I see you. Oh my God, yeah, you breaking a really big pattern in your life. They talk about you breaking the pattern of having to use like not drugs necessarily, but having to use like a what is it? A distraction, like some sort of like a physical distraction away from your emotions. You're breaking a curse. Maybe it's smoking or drinking. Might be smoking, might be drinking. Speaking of drink, I'm sorry, but let me get low. It might be also like masturbation could be really big in this area where you've always kind of had sex in order to avoid certain pieces and parts of your life, in order to avoid like the lost parts of yourself or even your own innocence. You've kind of denied yourself innocence by like constantly doing things in order to like just completely disregard that certain things happen to you or continue to happen to you. They do talk about like victimization. You're not a victim. That's like the biggest thing that they talk about. You're not a victim. You're a survivor. You're an active survivor. They talk about like surviving a shooting as well. There's something going on here, y'all. Like I pick up on like specific people's situations, but they talk about surviving a shooting or surviving a rough neighborhood. So I don't know if this is something that you always worried about. Like maybe you always worried that you were gonna catch a stray or something like that. Or you always worried about like somebody coming after you or hurting you. They talk about paranoia in drugs as well. Maybe you are always been worried about that way of life like bleeding into yours. It's not gonna happen. Like I said, it's not gonna happen. Okay, it's just not you. That is not who you are. Four of Pentacles, it's not who I am. I'm not somebody who will sit there and take life for granted and shit. Like, and even if I have in the past, I'm never ever going to continue that trope ever again. Like, once you done, you done. You done for good. Yeah, once you out for good. Once you gone for good. The Empress and the Upright. Yeah, I feel like now we're kind of hitting that gold mine of like the fall and winter time that I was talking about. In 3 to 4 months, you're going to feel so much more involved in your own life, in making the choices in your own life, instead of allowing people to dictate or make those choices for you based on their reckless behavior. You're going to be able to like call towards what you really want. Like you're going to be able to think so strongly about what you want that everyone else, they're muddled the fuck out. You don't even fucking know what the fuck they're doing. And that's a blessing, not a curse. Okay, that's a blessing, not a curse. And that's how I want you to view that shit. It's a blessing, not a curse. They might have completely ghosted you. They might not be talking to you. They might not be texting you. But that is a fucking blessing, not a curse. Okay? They talk about November. Okay, so November is really big with shit. What's happening in November? Highlight that, because that's Scorpio season. So tell me about what's going on in that season. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Okay. Using your big girl voice or using your big boy voice. Okay, you using your voice on something. You stand up for yourself in some type of way. There's something that happens around like November and December where you might be like calling the shots. And of course Capricorn is just that type of energy, ruled by Saturn. You're authoritarian, right? But you're calling the shots in a way you never expected. So you might end up moving up in a work position or moving up as a manager. You become somewhat of a like reliable figure in your workspace and even in your family life. So you become very reliable for people. And I don't know if it's like a financial thing necessarily always. I think it's also an emotional thing. Is it talking about the emotional qualities of family and family life and in lineage, like what you want to pass on to your own children. You don't want to pass on the instability, and that's exactly why you're trying to correct that shit now as you're feeling it, as it's happening, versus like leaving it in the past like you used to, or like some people in your life used to. Now you're trying to correct that shit. You're doing damage control. What's is super, super important coming up here is being able to like almost prescribe yourself your own dose of fucking medicine. Being able to sit there instead of like withdrawing and withholding your feelings and you're withholding your emotions, you're going to be feeling them, actually going through the throes of mourning and grief and sadness on your own behalf, for yourself and only yourself. I mean, you're going to be feeling every ounce of yourself. And I mean that in a literal and figurative, because they talk about the body too. Maybe there's been a lot like where you're not really like connecting well with your partners, or you're not connecting well physically at all. You might have felt very like dissociative. You might have felt very withdrawn in a physical manner. Like you might even recoil from people's touch type shit. You might be sitting there like, don't fucking touch me. Don't fucking look at me. And I get that. Like as a Cap, I get that. For hand to hand, I get that, baby. Like where you might be just feeling like, listen, because my emotions don't match up with you, I don't want a physical relationship with you. Because my emotions don't add up to with this situation, because I don't fully know you like that, or because I don't fully trust you, I'm not gonna fuck with you. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. That's how the fucking cookie crumble, bitch. That's just how I am. That's who I am. I'm not gonna sit here and have a physical relationship with somebody I cannot trust. He said, will this be available after the live? It absolutely will. I will. Yes, it will. It will be re-uploaded after this is over. And you might even be, I don't know if you can go back right now, but it will be. It will be. Now, they do talk about something about linking yourself up with somebody who it's very possible that you have like kind of habitually linked yourself up with friends who need you in order to have fun. Like they need you, and they need you as like the life of the party, or they need you in some type of way. Like it's very possible that you've always linked yourself up with those types of people. It's like needy people. It's like, okay, because you're not paying attention to them, they flip the fuck out, or because you like take a step back, or you take 24 hours to yourself, they start having like a conniption type shit. They start freaking the fuck out and almost like panicking, or they're calling you a bunch, or they're sitting there texting you a bunch. And this might be even like a doting partner or a needy partner. You've always linked yourself up with those types of people, but I think it's kind of time that you make yourself feel secure. Like I know a needy person kind of represents security for you, because you're sitting here like, at least I always know that they want me. At least I always know that they love me. But there needs to be space for you to also like figure out the things that you need for yourself and want for yourself. You need space to set goals for yourself, okay, that have nothing to do with this person. And I'm sorry that they feel like they need you at every hour, every second of the day, but they seriously don't. They really don't. And the fact that they call you and put this type of pressure on you and put this type of anxiety on you, that's also really uncalled for. Because like I said, they don't need you to breathe air and fucking survive. You don't need to be doing CPR and breathing air into their fucking mouth. Okay? You need to be doing that for you. Okay? That's for you. Like, you need to figure your own shit out. What else is coming for y'all? Okay, finishing up the summer. They talk about summertime or end of summer. What's happening in the end of summer? What's happening in the end of summer? I see. Okay, end of summer, it looks like you're gonna be like doing a lot more focus on like I'm gonna say it's the little things, but I really don't think it's little to feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? You're going to be really focused on your physical appearance, okay? Coming up, especially end of summertime, you're going to be very, very focused on changing your physical appearance. If not changing, then just accentuating. So this could be like new hairstyles or trying different things. There's been a long period of time where you've actually waited to do anything different with yourself, whether it be because of financial reason or because you just haven't felt like it, because you've been stressed the fuck out because everyone else is placing so much pressure on you and you are also placing all that pressure on you. You might have hesitated on changing something or doing something because of that. But I actually do see you actively changing whatever it is, and it feels actually like all of that weight that you felt from, like I said, the expectations of others or people trying to like stress you out with extra details and extra drama. After you do make this change or whatever it is with the physical, maybe you get new clothes, maybe you start, just like I said, you actively start feeling yourself, losing weight, a surgery. Like some of y'all ladies getting a little Botox or a Brazilian butt lift or whatever. Some of y'all getting like some of y'all niggas getting your hair did, that type of thing. Maybe you just start changing up like the way you dress, your style. You start wearing more like jewelry or whatever it is. It makes you feel so powerful. And I really want to focus on this aspect of like, you were acting real low key about yourself before, or playing real coy about how pretty or how attractive you were before, but you gonna feel real fucking sexy. It's like by the end of the summer, you gonna feel real sexy on that shit. You gonna feel real fucking good. Oh my gosh. Maybe there's something to do with a man buying a new car and feeling really good about it. So maybe they talk about like a convertible. They talk about a convertible or like a new like all black vehicle. It feels so nice to be in that shit. Like smelling the new car smell and shit like that. It feels really good, and you feel real bad in that. You sit up real high in that fucking car. By the way, I you sit up real fucking high in that car. You look mad powerful. You look like a fucking authoritarian figure type shit. Like you look like you gonna tell people, no, you need to stay on your side of the road. No, you need to stay over there. Like you need to get the fuck away from me. And when you have to like drive through window, you got your glasses on. You sit up. You ride up saying, what the fuck do you want? I fuck with that so much. That type of energy is amazing. That's just immaculate. I love that type of energy. Y'all feel bad as shit by the end of the summer, okay? And I'm not saying that like this whole half of like July and everything like that is going to be like positive, because like what I feel is that you're unlearning a lot of different behaviors that have created all of this self-deprecation, all of this like very like. It almost feels like you feel like a lot of the time you make it through life with dumb luck, when in reality you're making it through life with your own skill. Like you literally have a method. There's a method to the fucking madness. Regardless of how you put that shit, there is a method to your madness. Okay? And so you're sitting here and you're like, well, I'm just lucky. You know, I'm blessed. And it's like, yes, you're blessed, but on top of that, you're also incredibly intelligent, incredibly smart, and you're able to do these things because it's just something that is in your wheelhouse. Like I said, you're super, super good at what you do. So regardless of whether you sit here and like it or not, you're incredibly good at what you do. You can't chalk that shit up to luck, because sometimes, right, it takes skill too. And most definitely for what you're doing, it has taken the skill. And to finally recognize that for the rest of this month, it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really hard, because you've been told your whole entire life that what you do is not enough. It's just simply never, ever enough. It's never enough for people. It's never enough to just be yourself. Okay? It's never enough. So that's something that you have to unlearn and unbox and figure out why, like, you internalize so much of that pain and so much of that harm. Self-harm, really, is what it is. It's self-harm, because you're beating yourself up all goddamn day about it. If not all goddamn day, you're putting all that extra stress, you're adding all of that extra shit to your life when you just simply don't need to, right? They do talk about they talk about social media a little bit. They do tap in on the fact that maybe you have, even though you've taken the step back from social media, you just like, you feel like people are calling to you or trying to call you. Like, even if they're not calling you, do you feel like they're trying to call you, or you feel like they're trying to contact you? You feel like they're trying to text you? You feel a lot of, like, before when somebody's trying to, like, before they're trying to call you, like, you feel it? Like, you might look at your phone and be like, oh shit, this person's calling me. It's because you feel it. Before it even happens, you just feel it. So a lot of that intuition shit is going to be coming clear to you too. It's going to make you very emotional. I could pick that up quite heavy. I'm sorry for spitting like that. But I'm sorry for spitting, but no, I pick up on the fact that it's going to make you very emotional to feel this way. The intuition, like, it's tapped in, but it's also like, it's giving you a heightened sense of like instability, or a heightened sense of sensitivity, where like a lot of the things that you find wrong within your character, or a lot of the things you find wrong about your life, it's going to like really, really accentuate and make you feel very, very like up and down, like a roller coaster type shit. It's going to make you feel very, very, very sensitive. Okay, you're not gonna like when things become out of place in your life. You are really, really, really gonna flip the fuck out. And I mean, you know, like I said, I don't always want to be positive about this shit, because sometimes it's best if I let you know prior or beforehand that shit is not going to just be happy-go-lucky. Okay? It's not going to just be like hunky-dory, happy-go-lucky, like, oh yeah, you know, this is great, this is positive. You know, I'm saying there's work to be done. There's work to be had. And the sensitivity that you're feeling right now, I want you to also remember that regardless of how much you try to push that shit down, regardless of how much you just try to move on with your life and go day by day by day and stick on that same fucking schedule, that sensitivity that you try to ignore, that you try to push down, that you try to swallow, it's always going to come back out in the wrong way, because you're not acknowledging it. Okay? Because until you acknowledge it as being a part of yourself, like I said, the sensitivity, the intuition, the sadness and feelings of frustration, or even depression, down to depression. Like, I know this song it's called Depressed But I'm Lit. It's like I'm depressed, but I feel like actually, even though I'm depressed or in that like depressive state of my life, like I feel really good right now. It's like acknowledge the little things, acknowledge like the little wins that you get out of yourself instead of trying to like chalk it up to be needing to be more, because it never needs to be more. You just need to be all right within right now, like within the fucking present, right now. Are you okay now? Like, how are you doing now? Right? Not back then, not yesterday, day by day. Okay? Day by day. You are climbing. Day by day. Anything else I want to say? My candle is going nuts over there. That shit is bright. It's getting real fucking bright. It's real hot. Alright, let's see. One more. Let's try like 3 more. Let's try 3 more messages. I just love the number 3, y'all. It's on my face. Can't tell nobody though. Alright, let's see. Time machine doesn't exist. Pick that up. Time machine, you can't take it back. Okay? You can't take it back. You can't take back what you said. You can't take back what was done. You can't take back this relationship. You can't take it all back. You can't. Okay? Yeah, you can. But at the same time, like your reflection and introspection as a person today is much different than who you were then. Okay? You have done a lot of adulting. You've had to do a lot of adulting. You've had to grow up really, really, really quickly. And because of like the fact that you grew up quickly, you also had a lot of different challenges where you had to learn by yourself, for yourself, on your own. Like, you had to learn all of that shit because no one ever fucking taught you that shit. And because of that, you made a lot of fucking mistakes. You made a lot of shitty mistakes. And you might even still make fucking mistakes. But while I will say that you make mistakes on occasion, you also are very, very on top of that shit. You're highly aware of yourself. You're highly sensitive to yourself right now. So regardless of you like tripping up and slipping up and maybe making a couple mistakes, like you're super, super aware of yourself right now. And that's actually a really good thing. So even if, like I said, we climb into that like self-deprecating tunnel type situation where you start like beating yourself up, I want you to climb back out and realize, like I said, you've done a lot of work to maintain, like you are still to this day maintaining, like as a human being, you're maintaining yourself. You need to be proud of those little things, baby. You need to be proud of how much you have grown as a person just based off your own back, off of your own work, off your own heft, after your own, like you did the muscle lifting here. Nobody else. Okay? Let's try one more. Or two more. Let's see. What else we got? Someone's traveling overseas. I see that. Or someone wants to travel overseas. I see that. Someone said like water travel. They talk about boating, or they talk about like taking a boat over, or maybe going across the sea. There is something to do with like I've always wanted to travel overseas or something like that. It's going to happen. Maybe not this year, but it's going to happen. Someone wants to go to the mountains. I picked that up too. Or maybe you want to go hiking. You should. You most definitely should. Someone wants to go hiking. I also pick up on like turtles in the sand or some shit like that. Maybe they talking about you moving down south, or you jumping down south, or you hopping down south. Okay, do that. Bet. Because I see a lot of success coming for you there. Like, just the ability to like open up and like open up your fucking curtains and have some sunlight. That's the difference. That makes a difference in your life. For real. Like, that's just going to leave you speechless. It's going to make you feel real fucking good. Okay. Let's do one more message. Oh, man. Alternate reality, alternate universe. They talk about that, too. Like, maybe you're doing some studying on that type of shit. Or, like, you create an alternate reality in your head. And, like, maybe you do that shit, like, in drawings or in writing or in paper or even in singing. Like, you create an alternate reality. Or maybe, okay. So a message that I picked up on earlier, actually, I have it written down right here. Now I know what they were referring to. So I believe, where is it? It's talking about singing. And it was like, I sing my truth because I can't speak it. I sing my truth because I can't speak it, or I write music because I can't speak my truth, or I write because I can't speak my truth, or you do something as far as like self-expression goes, like maybe you model because you can't speak your truth. You model certain things, or like they just talk about that aspect of like, I never have felt like in my life I've been able to speak my truth, so I'll show people my truth. I'll show them through physical representation. I will show them my truth. I will show them who I am. And that's exactly what you need to be doing. That is going to be the rest of your life, by the way. Like, you are going to be showing people who you are through your craft, through your art. Okay? The rest of your goddamn life. It's never ever going to stop. Okay? So it doesn't matter what craft you choose. You could choose 7. You could choose fucking 7 crafts. You could choose 100 crafts. But you're going to continue to show people who you are through those things. Okay. Let's do one more. Because I'm starting to get a little congested. Alright, let's see. Start. Alright, so backwards thinking, or moving backwards or walking backwards to run forwards. Like, they talk about, like, people have gone back on their promises with you, or they constantly disappoint you. They constantly have been disappointing you. Okay, 10 of Wands in the upright is I've always kind of held people to this impossible standard that they're capable of doing what I ask, or it's not even. And that's the thing. It's not even that it's impossible for them to do it. It's just the fact that they always choose not to. They always choose to disrespect you. Is really what it is. They choose to disrespect you. It's not the fact that they can't do it. And it's not even simply the fact that they're not even in like the headspace and the mind space. They literally choose not to do it. They choose to disrespect you, and you know that. So the star in the upright is like, okay, if you're gonna choose that, then I'm also gonna choose to rebel in my own way. And rebelling could be like leaving a situation behind. It could be severing off ties, cutting ties with somebody. But the star the water bearer mostly represents like letting my feelings out. I'm going to let my feelings out. I'm going to tell you how I really feel then. Okay, let me tell you how I really feel. Because straight up, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly how I really feel. And if you don't like it, then fuck you. If you don't like it, then you don't need to be in my life then. The wheel and the upright. You don't need to. I am not fated to be with someone like this. Or I am not fated to end up this unhappy. I know that about myself. I know I'm meant to be happy. I know I'm meant to have people in my life that are supportive and loving. And I know that they are not you. I know that. I just know that about myself. Knight of Swords in the upright. Okay, so they do talk about the death of people in your life. They talk about grief. Okay, grief, it might be literal death, it might be figurative death, but either way, it's the same. Either way, you're still like either actively killing someone in your mind, or you're having to actively decide to like cut ties with a person, or it could be that somebody is literally, they've literally passed away. There's certain things that I think correlate for you about this, like, it's almost like a honeymoon phase of like, you're not able to fully accept like that someone is gone out of your life. So you keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again that you two used to do together, or you two used to share together. And I'm not going to say that's actually toxic. I think that's actually like, if anything, you're trying your best to like maintain a semblance of normalcy. And I do think that's actually okay. But kind of where we bump into the walls is when you start like getting a little delusional about it. You might start getting delusional where you're sitting here like, I'm okay, I'll be fine. I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll be all right. Yes, you'll be okay. That's not the debate here. But like, if you're not feeling okay, that's also okay too. Like, learn to be for right now, instead of like focusing on building that future, like past this traumatizing traumatizing moment or like feeling of grief. Maybe start building towards understanding your present moment, like you who you presently are and how you presently feel, like, because that's super important. It's important not to feel empty, like to close the walls off to yourself, to make it impossible for you to feel anything past that grief. Right, past that like moment of like, oh my God, like I just lost. Like, you just keep feeling that I lost. I lost. I fucked up. And you just keep reliving that over and over again. And the reality of it is, it's like, yeah, you know, it's lost. It's gone forever. There's never ever going to be a time where you're going to have that same exact instance or that same exact person in the same exact way. Never. But that's okay. Learn to be in the present. Learn that that's okay. Learn that you can create new memories and new situations and have new fulfillment, right? Fuck the old shit. Learn to appreciate what you have and not harp on what you had. Okay? Capricorn, that's what's up. And you free. You know, I'm gonna let you free, baby. I'm gonna let you free roam. Okay? I appreciate y'all. This was very fun. We almost hit 2 hours here. Of course, I always love these types of live streams, especially with my Capricorn people, because you guys are some of the easiest people to read for. I'm such a sensitive being, sensitive sign. I'm always like up for it, and I'm always up for like the new energy, new vibes type shit. And because these readings have kind of been popping off in a way with Capricorn particularly, I must be on point in some type of fashion, right? If you do like this video, please just give it a thumbs up, and make sure you share it with your people, share it with your friends, or share it with people that you feel like would identify with these types of feelings and emotions. And also, you know, make sure that you check out my other videos. The other videos on the channel that you might be wanting to look into your ascendant or your moon or your sun, feel free to do that. Cross-watching isn't necessarily something I suggest, because it's like I said, it's so particular per person. Now, I really do believe that with cross-watching, you're kind of like almost crossing the threshold a little bit, you know, that you're not really supposed to be crossing. Like, let's figure you out before you figure this other person out. All right, like, let's do that. Okay, baby, let's do that. But I do appreciate you, and I hope you like this, and I love y'all. I do love Capricorn so much. You know, even though it's like my own sign, I feel like with y'all, it's much more than that. It feels very, very, very like accepting, or like community based, and when I get in here, so I fuck with it. I love you. I appreciate you. You know, stay tuned for the next one, and stay tuned for my next live. Turn on a notification. Do that, because I'm going to do a live where we do like the questions and shit like that. And if you're new to this goddamn channel, you can get a free question. So I'm saying, all right, cat. All right, baby.